we go. We are diving into our first series of the night. You could already see it there in the chat. It is going to be a bit of a TvP. The winner of this series will go up against Ryu in the quarterfinals. Oh my god. Let's go. What? Again? It's always Neo versus Tapo. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. Ah! It's always Neo versus Tapo. Shaking my head. Shaking my head. But we've been spoiled. Here we go. We are diving into our series. With a very interesting name, with a story behind it. I say this all the time. Oh god, is this safe for work? Okay, it kind of is. Sporting in the top right hand corner of Hardwire LE, we have the Peruvian Terran player himself. He is pink, representing his own clan, Snuffy W. Some know him as Snuffy is the best. It is Smile. SMH. And spawning in the bottom left hand corner of Hardwire LE, we have the Brazilian Protoss player himself, representing Eximius Gaming. It is DTWB. DTWB. Oh my god, not the first time we've casted this Protoss player and not the first time we've casted this Terran, but the name is a little bit new. And if you're wondering who is Snuffy, this is Snuffy. Snuffy is a VTuber on Twitch, a virtual YouTuber, a virtual streamer. She is an anime girl. And fun fact, we first casted Smile a month ago in a Latin American tournament. It was the Super Extra Latin American tournament that we were able to cast. And Smile got top 3, and Smile actually earned some prize money. And he announced to everyone that with that prize money, he would buy a Snuffy body pillow. And he did. He bought a Snuffy body pillow. No shame. Unfortunately, it was stolen. There's a story. There's a whole story behind it. I say stolen. The post office lost the body pillow, so he did not receive it. He was very sad. He was very, very sad. And he is here to earn money to buy a second body pillow. And we'll see if he can get it. You know, it's going to be a long road ahead of him. He's a returning pro player. He was active 3 years ago. He's been inactive for 3 years, and now he is back. And he was good enough to get top 3 in that last Latin American tournament. Is he good enough to get it here in Sentimiento Latino? Because let's be honest, that last event was an invitational. Sentimiento Latino is a lot more cutthroat. It's a lot more brutal as well. So we'll see if he is up to the task. Oh boy. As so far, the openers are pretty, I say pretty standard. We did see a Reaper first opener here by Smile, and he did not stop his Reaper production whatsoever. He is delaying his own add-ons here to get a mass amount of Reapers and Hellions, zoom out across the map, and the goal of this is to just power through any units that there are, get into the mineral line as well. If there was a wall in the low ground, then obviously you can like bounce units out of the way and really get in. I am a little bit worried here for Snuffy. I'm not too certain what the purpose of these building placements are either. Just because they're not in range of, or they're unable to block off the Reaper cliffs. I guess there's a little bit of SimCity that they provide here in the main base. Oh, but we have a Robo opener. Is this for a fast robotics bay? No. Oh, it still could be, but we see an Immortal first from DTWB. This is very unorthodox. Not very standard at all. From here, he can go straight into a Robotics Bay and go straight into Colossus or even Disruptor drops. So this is a very kind of greedy opener. But oh my god, the Immortal's not ready! It's not, neither is the shield, but is it over? Oh my god. The first Stalker goes down. The second Stalker's gonna go down as well. But at least they're buying time. The Immortal is on the way. Down goes the second Stalker. We have 2 more. It's okay. Smile does get a full scout up, and he will not go into the mineral line. Does confirm the Robo opening. Oh. Ay, ay, ay. And I'm curious as to what the plan is here for DTWB. He's going for a third base. This is fine. This, I don't know if I like this. I was about to say this should be for a Fast Robotics Bay, because if you're skipping tech like this, may as well go straight up to Colossus and you can defend against any kind of bio pushes. Unfortunately, as Smile tries to get into the main base, he's going to a Twilight Council. So this build gets him an early Immortal, which is okay defensively, I guess. But he delays his own blink. He delays his own map control as well. He hasn't really seen too much. He went for a probe scout earlier, but that's it. So I'm not too fond of this right now. I mean, again, I guess he is relatively safe from early aggression. But again, just delays his own, delays blink, delays +1. Interesting build. Almost Shaq T-esque, who's another Protoss player on Eximius Gaming. So I wonder if that's a coincidence. I do wonder. The stakes are high. By the way, how's the hype for Vindicta DreamHack now that he could beat Beyond 2-0, mate? The hype was always there for Vindicta. I was talking about Vindicta a little bit since we're in a lull. I am most concerned about his TvP. He is as well. His worst matchup is TvP, and the reality is, if you want to be some of the best in North America, you need to have really good versus Protoss. You have Neeb, you have Nina, you have Estrella, you have Trigger, you have Patty Mac, you have Disc. Arguably, the best players in America are Protoss. The only kind of thing aside from that is Scarlet. Scarlet is like the only notable Zerg player. So you need to be really good against Protoss, and Vindicta is struggling against that. If give him a Terran, give him a Zerg, he'll have a field day. But against a Protoss, that's what he's been working on the most, and he has a week to get ready. And I'm sure he will. I'm sure he will. I have faith. Speaking of faith, DTWB, he does push out across the map. He's got high ground vision. Blink is about to finish up in a couple of seconds, and with Blink he can go straight to the main base, but we do have a tank in the main. We have a tank here at the natural. We don't have a bunker, so a little bit greedy here by Smile, but with a Raven, with an anti-armor missile, or even a disable, Smile, he is fine. DTWB wants none of that, and he will back off. But at least he does have Blink, and you know, +1 is not too far away. We have a bit of a gateway explosion as well. All things considered, I do feel like DTWB has gotten here in a relatively decent position. I do worry about the lack of splash damage, and I think that's what he worries about as well, as he is going for a Templar Archive. So it looks like he wants to go eventually charge the Archon into Storm. And this again can be really risky. It takes longer to get into Storm than it does to get into Colossus, especially when you open up Robo like this. So there is a timing, there is a window where Smile can hit before Storm is done, and if that happens, DTWB is going to be in a hard place. It's going to be scary. It's going to be scary without Storm. Oh boy. Here we go. We do have a bit of a double drop moving out across the map. Storm is on the way, but the drop may hit a little bit before that. We'll see if there's going to be an army in position as well. Obviously, we have a recall, but no energy here on that main nexus. The rest of the army is here at that third base. Oh boy, and it looks like a Smile wants to go for a bit of multi-prong. He has to be careful not to hit too soon though. Again, he's going to be drawing the attention of the army here on the right-hand side. Meanwhile, the drop does get spotted. Does he see? It looks like he didn't notice. Oh god, he is noticing this though. The drop will be able to take down a pylon, a probe as well. Again, just drawing away the attention of the main army. Boom, double drop into the main base. We do have a warp in, but only a single stalker. Okay, a couple more stalkers are on the way, but the drop will be successful. Oh, Storm! He's gonna deny it! Oh my god, he denies Storm. He's going to deny +1 armor as well. This drop is absolutely insane, and DTWB is finally coming over with his army. He'll finally be able to stop this and force the pickup, but it is too late. The damage has been done, and as a response, he has a robotics bay on the way instead. At least he's still working on splash damage, but right now he is so vulnerable. Oh god. Meanwhile, I feel like, again, now is the time to push out. I'm worried that maybe Smile is being a little bit too passive. To be fair, he doesn't know if he canceled Storm. He saw it researching, and he saw that he killed the building, but maybe it finished just in time. It's hard to tell. So I understand that he's being a little bit, you know, he's not being as assertive. He's taking a 4th base instead. I worry though, because again, look at the supplies. Now is the moment to push out, and he is taking his time. Drop here on the right hand side is going to be cleaned up. Drop on the left, ooh, is going to deny the 4th base. So at least these drops are doing something, but he has to be careful not to commit too much to these drops when, again, a frontal push could be all he needs. DTWB, he wants to fight these small drops. He wants to fight segments of the army. He doesn't have splash damage. He doesn't want a head-on engagement at the moment. As the 4th base is attempted to be retaken once again by DTWB. It's on the way. It's on the way. 2-2 on the way from our Terran player. You could argue, yeah, maybe the upgrade's a little bit late. I mean, the NG Bay was delayed, if you recall. But mate, Smile, you're about to max out. Let's go. You know, what are you waiting for, puppy? What are you waiting for? Ah! Because of this, Extended Thermal Lance is going to finish up. Our first wave of Colossus is on the way. Second Robo is on the way as well. So we can have that double Colossus production or even double Disruptor production as well. DTWB, he's rounding out his army. Like, Smile is giving him a lot of time, and DTWB is doing the best with the time that he is given. So I should say very solid here by DTWB, right? Like, very solid from our Brazilian Protoss. For him not to panic too much and maybe force himself into a push. He's like, oh my god, my storm is so late, I have to push out now because I know that I'm gonna die if the game goes on longer. Like, no, he was given time. Do have a bit of a scan. Finally, Smile is gonna move out. It seems as if he feels comfortable now that he is maxed, but the armies are missing each other. Oh, we do have a completion though of the Sensor Tower. Smile doesn't turn around. Instead, our Protoss player does instead. Okay, a couple of cannons are going to be thrown down. Looks like the 4th base is going to fall as well. The Colossus is looking a little bit exposed, puppy. Ah, no. The first Colossus does go down. So will the second. And the rest of the army is going to be picked up at the same time. We had another drop in the main base. Oh my god, the main is going to fall as well. There was no recall. DT was completely out of position, and he just had to waddle all the way back home. Smile just completely pulling him apart. And again, I'm sure our Protoss player, he just wants a fight. He's like, yo, I have Storm, I have Colossus, just fight me. But Smile just keeps going for these drops, keeps going for these multi-prong attacks. At least we have another 4th on the way and a 5th on the way as well, but I don't know. I don't know if it's possible here for the Protoss. I was thinking, honestly, maybe a base trade would have been the best case scenario here for our Protoss player, because there wasn't much at home. I say there wasn't much at home. All the tanks were left at home. Maybe that would have been enough to defend. Once again, we have another double drop. Ooh. Drops on the left-hand side do get cleaned up, but the 5th base is denied. We see another cancel here. It looks like our Protoss player has had enough. He's like, nah, mate, this is I'm not gonna play to your tune anymore. We are going for it. We're sending everything across the map. All army A move. Is it gonna be enough though? Again, look at the tanks, look at the ghosts, look at the EMPs. As the Archons get cleaned up, and even though he's getting on top of some of these tanks, the Bio army is still doing so much more across the map, and there is just no way for our Protoss player to push into all these tanks and the planetary. It's just too much. Instead, we see a recall. Recall's just in time. It looks like, no, he will not save the Nexus. We see a blink on forward, but DTWB is knocked down to two Nexuses. I keep forgetting that the main is dead. Oh my god. A Protoss player has just been pulled apart, and I would say that the only way that I could see a comeback here is maybe if we had Disruptors. Obviously, Disruptors can catch an opponent off guard and can deal some damage, but like, look at this defensive position. We have a Sensor Tower, we have a wall, we have tanks, we have even more tanks behind the tanks, we have, you know, a CC, we have Sim City. And all this is designed to just buy time. The rest of the army is rotating over as well. DT, he just can't find a way in. There's just too much. And we even have that Raven alive from the early game as well. So even if we had a big fight, these Colossus, they can just be disabled. They're just going to be rendered inert. Smile has options. Oh, God. What I will say, though, is that he's... I'm noticing, and I think I noticed this last time we casted him, Smile is a very passive player. he doesn't seem to be too committed with his attacks, which can be a good thing but can also be a bad thing. This gives your opponent opportunities to come back. I imagine he's just not feeling too confident, but oh god, we need some EMPs, puppy. There we go, we do have an EMP just a little bit too late. Storm will connect with the entire Terran army, and DT, he takes a good fight, but again, the tanks are they're at home. That was only half the army. Not like this. It looks like finally Smile, he's pushing out with what he has across the map. He hunts down Colossus after Colossus. There's almost nothing left here for DT. Looking at the units tab, he has 1 Colossus, 2 Disruptors, and an Archon. Now no Colossus. First Disruptors are coming out, and maybe he was listening to the stream. Maybe he's like, yo, you know what? Disruptors, yeah, they can be pretty good. They can be, but at this point, it is a little bit too late. We're gonna need some miracle connections here, and in the end he gets a single Marauder. It's not going to be enough. He does have a 3rd Disruptor now. Oh god, but the splits are once again a half decent. 1 Marauder gets taken out again, but the bio is too much, the Terran is too much. Smile just said everything. There we go, the tanks are finally rocking up as well. For the first time this game, tanks move out across the map. And after a long hardcore battle, Smile, he's doing it for you, Snuffy. He's doing it for you. It's not just the tier 3 subs, he's also doing it for the body pillow. Let's go. Meanwhile, DT is doing the best that he can. And hey, you know what? He gets another half decent Disruptor shot as well, but it's just, you know, it's just not enough. He's just warming up for the next game. GG gets called, and Smile takes game number 1. Oof. GG. Again, a little bit of a death by 1,000 cuts. It was really cool to see Smile like as active as he was with all his drops, but at the same time, there were some moments there where he could have pushed out a little bit earlier. I understand though, because there are some Terran players that have been scarred, right? You know, it's I'm sure there are people who can relate. They move out across the map with maybe a little bit too much. They lose 1 engagement and that's it. It's over. So it almost felt like Smile had a little bit of PTSD. I don't know if that was intentional or not. I don't know if that's accurate or not, but that's what it seemed like. It seemed that he has been burned 1 too many times. Oh boy. As I'm just trying to set up the alias here, Snuffy is best. There we go. Beautiful, beautiful. And yeah, with that, he takes a lead in this series. Again, as a reminder, this is a best of 3, so we do have comeback potential. The series isn't over by any means, but it is a nice lead that Smile has taken. And we'll see if he can take it even further. Again, DT, he's not necessarily a pro player, but he's a semi-pro. He's Masters 1, he's working his way up kind of the ladder system, he's working his way up the ranks. And, you know, he's not a bad player. There were moments there where he was looking really good. I'm sure we would have seen a different game if Storm wasn't denied. If the upgrades weren't denied either. Like, it's... unfortunately, he was really kind of knocked off balance. And he had a hard time recovering. I say a hard time recovering. Like, it's just difficult to recover when you lose tech structures like that. It's a bit of a shame. If I remember correctly, I think he may have been supply blocked at the time, which is why he tried to warp in defensively, but he just couldn't warp in too much. It was either that or maybe some of his gateways were on cooldown. God damn it. As we're getting ready for game number 2. And it looks like game number 2 is going to be on Berlingrad. Como me gusta a jugar Marine Tanque, pero en TvP no es viable. Oh god, Smile is like, I love playing with Marine Tank, but in TvP it's not the most viable. It's like, I mean, yes and no. I know like a lot of Korean Terrans like playing with Bio Tank, but usually they hit a certain timing and then they get out of tanks. Like it isn't the most viable to continue tank production into late game. Like, especially when you're up against ground toss, usually you want to be switching up into liberators, right? Especially against disruptors and colossus, you want to get off of the ground, take up, take flight, get into the sky. So Smile could have been punished for that. Again, if he hadn't dealt so much damage with all his drops. So this is something that I'm a little bit worried about. We'll see if it will actually come to play at some point as well in this series. Oh, we'll see. Meanwhile, as we wait, I guess we'll have a look at that bracket because, oh, we have had a decent amount of results here already. Anything notable? Master 2-0'd Yanji. Feels bad, man. The Amantes de StarCraft team kill. Yanji gets taken out. In Fanson, 2-0's Saberlight. Makes sense. Saberlight is an up-and-comer, but Infanson is that much more established, so he does move on there in that bracket. Kamikaze, 2-0's Nia Shaggy. Same story. I think Nia Shaggy and Saberlight are pretty comparable with each other. Listo. They're pretty comparable with each other, and Kamikaze is again a little bit more established, so F's in the chat for Neo Shaggy. Neo gets a walkover, and Neo starts his series versus Davo. Juicy TvT, and the Zerglord 2-0's White Idra. Again, what we would expect. The Zerglord is one of the heavier hitters in this tournament. You know, I'm looking at the Zerglord, I'm looking at Paco Mike, I'm looking at Jim Rising, Ryu, Davo, Neo, maybe Smile as well. Maybe, as here we go, spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Berlingrad LE, we have the Pink Terran player himself doing it for his grill. It's all for you, representing the clan Snuffy W. It is Smile. From Peru. And spawning in the top left hand corner of Berlingrad LE, we have our Brazilian Protoss player. He is teal, representing Eximius Gaming. It is DTWB. Not gonna lie, it is so difficult to say that. Like, when you're in the middle of casting, when you're like, oh my god, like, you know, his splits or whatever. Like, yeah, DTWB. It's not the easiest. I've just resulted in calling him DT. God damn it. Oh god. But we'll see what the openers are going to be here, especially from our Protoss player, because I pointed it out, and maybe I should have put a little bit more emphasis on it. But it was really like going for a robo opener isn't the most common thing. It's a little bit odd, not gonna lie. It's I would go as far as to say inefficient, especially with the way that he opened up, because he didn't go straight into a robotic spade. So I do worry for that. I also worry because we're on Berlingrad, a map where Terran players can be that much more aggressive, and if you're delaying your tech, like, mate, that's a scary prospect. So we'll see what kind of opener our Protoss player is going to go for. Likewise can be said for Smile, as Smile is actually switching things up here. Might be setting himself up for something a little bit more biocentric, as he does open up with a Marine first, not a Reaper, so he's not going to be anywhere near as aggressive as he was in game number 1, going for all those Hellions and Cyclones. Instead, yeah, something a little bit different. He's going to be saving that gas that he would otherwise spend on a Reaper and going for a bit of a faster factory instead. So a little bit more efficient here by Smile. It makes sense because his opener last game honestly didn't really deal too much damage. He got 2 Stalkers and a Scout, and that's it. And we can see that, hey, I mean, he's already got an SCV across the map. You don't necessarily need all those Reapers to get scouting information. That's why Reaper openers have kind of fallen out of favor in this matchup. It's not as common as it once was. It used to be standard. Now it's standard to go Marine instead. To go straight into a 1-1-1. Are we going to see... Oh, I thought we were going to see maybe a fast Widowmine drop, but no, instead we see Hellions on the way for our Terran. My oh my. Meanwhile, our Protoss player going for a much more standard opener. There is that Twilight Council on the way, so it looks to be a Blink Stalker opener. Very solid indeed. It's very risky to go for a Stargate on a map like Berlingrad, so I didn't really expect that. I'm happy to see it. Meanwhile, the first two Hellions are zooming across the map. They're going to be, again, keeping an eye on things, maybe slipping in and dealing some damage. The Stalker is a little bit preoccupied, so the Hellions are going to slip into the mineral line, but there is a shield battery, so they're not going to be dealing too much damage. They try to get into the main base, and it looks like they will get a full scout off in the main, even forces a recall. Oh my god. Oh my god, because there's no shield battery in the main. DT, please. The Hellions will be dealing some worker damage, and oh my god, we have something completely different. So again, the recall was forced because he wasn't ready with the shield battery. Damage was dealt. The opener was scouted, and I wonder if Smile took note of the gases. We only have one probe in each gas geyser. That's because there's no blink. We have a charge all in on the way. Even have a proxy gateway being set up here across the map. There it is. The gateway being set up as well. Robo on the way for that Warp Prism, I imagine. This is honestly kind of scary, but because there's no blink, it's going to be harder to deal with drops. To deal with this specifically, Widowmine drop. There aren't going to be many Stalkers. They're not in position. He just used recall. How good are the splits? Oh god. Oh no. Do we have an armory behind this? We do not. In come those Widowmines, and we do not. Oh, we do see a reaction just in time. Ooh. Couple of shots still going off as we have another drop here into the main base. Zero mining going on right now. Oh god. And honestly, this is a little bit crucial because when you go for a 2-base all-in, like, your resources, they're so crucial because they're so limited. You need to be able to warp in. You need to make use of your gateways. Otherwise, it's all going to be over. Meanwhile, I hope Smile has taken note of the lack of workers here at the natural base. Like, we need defenses up and running ASAP. We have a bunker. We have a missile turret just in case it's DT. So he's getting ready for everything. But we need more of a wall here because there's going to be a lot of charge lots. Oof. Meanwhile, Widowmine drops are continuing. There's still Widowmines in the main base as well. This push has been delayed by so much, but is it going to work anyway? Because the Zealots, they get on top of the bunker. The repair is not fast enough. There's only one tank, but we do have a second tank on the high ground. It looks like the Zealots are going to get on top of it, though. This is what I was talking about. We needed a little bit more SimCity here. The Zealots are still getting on top of the tanks, and the wall is not a wall. The Zealots get all the way into the main base. Boys are being pulled with the boys. It looks like Smile is going to be able to hold on to the main base, but damage has been done. The worker count is evened up. Oh no, there was no repair! Smile, ¿por qué? Oh my god, Widowmines do come back. He has to be so careful here. It looks like the shots are going to go off. Despite there being detection. Was it the right call to bring them back? Should they have been dealing more damage across the map instead? I do think that it would have been a little bit better if they were working on probe damage. We saw that they really didn't do much here defensively. At least Smile is holding on. And he does have 2 CCs, but oh god, this is very up in the air right now. Still a very large gateway army here on the low ground. Smile goes for a double drop, very risky move. He has nothing to defend his main, and he is hoping that DT wastes time at the natural. And he's not checking the ramp. Oh, as we see a little bit of a supply block here. Oh god, there we go, another Widowmine on the way, but he is getting away with this drop. We're gonna need to see a recall. As the Widowmines get taken down, the wall is not a wall. But DT, his attention is getting pulled away. And now Smile, is time to deal some damage. There is that recall. Now Smile can expand. He can take his natural base. Has to be careful not to lose too much, but again, there is no blink, so Smile, he is safe in the skies. And things are kind of resetting. Oh god. Again, Smile, he obviously didn't recognize that there was a charge lot all in on the way. So because of that, he still sustained a lot of damage. And despite being down in workers, he has mules, so like the economy isn't as far in the Protoss' favor as it otherwise would be. Meanwhile, the Protoss player is also a little bit behind in tech. He has to catch up. There we go, +1 and Blink are on the way. Still no 30C. No! Smile! Loses his medevacs to Blinkless Stalkers. Ay, ay, ay. A little bit of a pathing issue there for Smile. But again, I still want to believe that things are looking pretty close here, especially with the addition of Liberators. Liberators are an interesting choice. Before Blink, I do think that they can deal a lot of damage across the map, especially in the mineral lines. But even defensively, they're good as well. Like, it's going to be difficult for DT to really deal with them, but again, going to be a little bit easier once Blink finishes. Here we go, he's rotating here towards that third base. He did spot that the army was a little bit preoccupied with that proxy. Up! Siege up, puppy, siege! Bar the mines! Oh god, we do see DT diving on top of the army. Widowmine shots are going to go up on those stalkers, but the Liberators are going to get dealt with anyway. The charge, let's get on top of the bio! Oh. Honestly, that was a pretty juicy Widowmine shot. And Smile will hold on, but that was a hefty loss. He lost both of his Liberators. He lost one of his Widowmines as well. Oof. Again, these are losses that he just can't afford right now. Not yet. Not before he gets a third up and running. And this is how desperate he is. He takes his third on location. Oh boy. And I was gonna say I really don't know where this is gonna go. I feel like Smile has to deal some damage with these drops. Storm is on the way. I feel like that's gonna seal the deal here for Smile. If DT is able to get Storm, like there are no tanks, like there's no real backbone to Smile's army. He's going to struggle here. He has to do something before that happens. Meanwhile, a little bit of a Widowmine drop, doesn't get any damage done. There's a cannon here to help defend. There's a cannon in every single mineral line, actually. Oh my god. Meanwhile, Smile comes in. He's going to deal a little bit of damage, but oh, we see a blink, and the medevacs are going to be forced back. Oh, we have detection as well. No! Widowmines. Oh! Ooh, almost gets the observers. We'll still end up losing them all in the end. Ah, god. So close. That was a very cheeky move though. Smile's like, you have detection, scan! Ah, he wanted the observers so bad. And now we'll see if DT gives his opponent time now instead. Because Storm is completed. Now is the moment to move out. Smile is working on Ghost. The Ghost Academy just finished up. If given time, he'll be able to get his EMP upgrade. He'll be able to get enough Ghosts to help make these storms kind of inert. The longer this goes on, the better it's going to be for Smile. Oh boy. But I feel like DT, he's aware of that. He's moving out across the map. He knows. And unfortunately, there's no sensor towers here. There is a bit of a drop. Is this going to pull DT back? No, it doesn't. Instead, he's going to be relying on a warp, and he's going to be relying on overcharge instead. There is that overcharge, and it is enough to defend his natural base. And at the same time, in comes that main army. No, the first Ghost gets sniped. There are no EMPs. We do have a decent split, but again, we have 3-4 more storms in the chamber. Yeah, and this may be it. Smile cannot engage here. He does dive on top of one of those High Templar, but only one does get a second. But there's still 2 more left. Reinforcements coming in. We see a full surround on the small bio army. Smile still trying to do whatever he can with the drop across the map, but I mean, we're gonna have a recall anyway if we need it. And people, we have a series. GG gets called. DTWB takes game number 2, and we are going to our ace match. Oh my god. Something that I honestly wasn't expecting. I'll be real. I thought Smile was doing really well in the early game with his Widowmine drops. Like, he was slowing down the all-in. Like, the all-in was delayed because of Smile. But despite the delays, he wasn't prepared for it. It didn't register in his mind that it was a charge all-in. he was getting ready for DTs, if you remember. So he just wasn't prepared. He didn't have SCVs pre-pulled. He didn't have a wall either. He only had a single bunker. And especially against charge lots, it's all about your SimCity. It's all about your choke points. Without them, it can be a little bit abusive. And that's what we saw. All right. And with that, we are going to be getting ready for game number 3, and we already have our map. Smile is like, how much would you bet that he's gonna cheese me again? Curious Minds? 100%, mate. 100%. Oh god. Ay. So yeah, Smile, he's already anticipating what his opponent could do. But we'll see, It seems as if we're going to be delayed a little bit. DT, it seems like he just got a phone call, so he does have to answer that. He has to deal with that phone call first before we get into our ace match. Oh god. But yeah, I'm surprised and I'm excited. I'm excited that we are indeed getting our ace match. But our series is actually taking some time. If we look at the bracket, everyone else is moving on. Oh my god. And Davo, we have some results. We have some updates. Where's the bracket? There it is. We have confirmation. Davo did indeed 2-0 Neo in their series. And he's going to be moving on to face the Zerglord in the quarterfinals. And honestly, I really want to cast that. I want to cast, but oh god. Ay. Ah. Shaking my head. It looks like there was some issues here. God damn it, Jaime. God damn it. But yeah, Davo did 2-0 Neo, so he's going to be starting a series against the Zerglord. I would love to cast that, but I also, you know, we're mid-series. You know, we want to see how Smile versus DT ends. Right? I want to be here for this. I don't want to like disrespect the players by like jumping off into a different series. So we are committed. We are very committed here with what we have. Oh god. Meanwhile, any other updates? Jim Rising, it seems as if he was AFK, so he may just be walkovered. We'll see if maybe they'll be able to sort that out. Maybe he can still play against Kamikaze. We'll see there. We'll see. Pocket Mike is taking a long time against Boryu, which is a little bit surprising. Like, what is going on there? Like, Pocket Mike is the clear favorite. How? They are still mid-series. I just checked. Pocket Mike is still in game. Like, my god. Crazy. Other than that, no other major updates. Not yet. I guess Phoenix did 2-1 Slayer's MVP. So Phoenix is going to be waiting for the winner of Ryu, who's waiting for the winner of this. Oh. As it looks like. Ah. Shaking my head. Yeah, he's like, hold on, give me a moment. I'm still talking to my boss. Ah. Understandable. Shaking my head. Meanwhile, just gonna catch up in the chat. Hello, Fernando. Hello. Hi, duckies. Buenos dias. Parker Mike is here in the tournament. Just letting you know, Fernando. Just letting you know. I'm sure we'll cast him later on. I don't think Master can stop him, so I'm sure once we get to the semifinals, Parker Mike should be there. There is a slight chance that maybe Master can stop him on his way, but I'm sure we'll get some Parker Mike later on in the tournament. We'll get him. Oh boy. Meanwhile, also exclamation mark Funada for sure is in the chat as well. Hello. welcome, Papi. Oh god. Ay. But yeah, I hope everyone is enjoying themselves here. As a reminder, this is our bi-weekly Latin American tournament, and it's crazy. We've been going for 129 fortnights. That's a long time. I think this tournament started in, I want to say 2018, maybe 2017, but 2018 for sure. So it's been many years since this tournament has been running, and yeah, it's cool to see like it's still running strong. Players are still very active here. We've had some old school players, we've had some up and comers, and you know, we even have some returning players. It's really cool to see that Smile was telling me about how he hasn't competed in 3 years. But 3 years ago he was also playing in Sentimiento Latino. Like he used to play in this back in the day, and he's still continuing to play in this. Oh boy. So yeah, still running strong. It's great to see, Meanwhile, on the other side of things is Copa Hyperion. Copa Hyperion is still newer. It's still crazy. Like in my mind, Copa Hyperion is like the new tournament on the block, but it's also been running for over a year. It's crazy how much time flies. I guess especially with like the pandemic and the lockdowns and everything. Like, you know, time can be an interesting construct that you know, just passes us by. But yeah, it's crazy how often we've had this. I just checked. Yeah, Sentimiento Latino #1 was in 2018. What dates exactly? January, the very start of 2018 as well. My god. And looking at this bracket, we still see a lot of the same players. The Zerg Lord was there, Eggs was there, Jim Rising was there. Some players that we don't see anymore. I see B Lord, Jadpi, Halfbreed. The two, Jarpy and Halfbreed, they usually just come out for dream hacks nowadays. Same with B Lord as well. They're not as active as they once were. Feels bad, man. Feels bad. But still cool to see like all these older school players. Soldier is there as well. Soldier recently came back to the competitive scene. Been a long time. Hopefully we'll see them again for DreamHack as well. That's the other thing is like, yo, you know, DreamHack is around the corner, and as a reminder, this is the last confirmed year of ESL Pro Tour. We don't know if it's gonna be renewed. I'm sure it will. I hope it will. ESL have been vocal about it, and they've said, hey, we want to renew it if Blizzard is willing. So yeah, hopefully they are willing. They're able to sort something out, and we can still have StarCraft for years to come. I know that just regardless of what happens with that, we'll always have Sentimiento Latino. It'll be there. It'll be there till the end of time. Vámonos. Meanwhile, I apologize for the delay. Again, one of our players had a phone call, but that phone call is now over. And we are getting into game number 3. We're tied up 1-1, and in this game we'll find out who moves on to face Ryu. Ryu, who has been patiently waiting. And I feel really bad for Ryu because it's not too late right now, but if you remember, Ryu is living in Italy. He's living in Europe. And the longer this goes on, the worse it is for him because it's getting really late. And he usually stays up like until 4 or 5 a.m. to play in Sentimiento Latino. And the game is being, the tournament is kind of being elongated here because of these two players right here. Ay. Here we go. Spawning in the top left-hand corner of Curious Minds ALE, we have our Peruvian Terran player himself representing Snuffy W. I don't know what that is. I don't know what they are. I guess we do. Representing the VTubers all over Twitch, it is Smile. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Curious Minds ALE, we have the Brazilian Protoss player himself representing Eximius Gaming. It is DTWB. One of the best Protoss players in all of Brazil. Been in the shadow for a while of players like Master and Shakti. But I've said his name a couple of times now, and I'm honestly a little bit concerned. I haven't seen Shakti in a long time. I know he's been focusing a lot more on casting. Will he be there for DreamHack? Will Turkey Dano be there for DreamHack? That's the other big thing about DreamHack whenever the season comes around. It's like, who is active and who isn't? Like, who is coming back? Who has been secretly laddering and practicing for this big tournament? Outside of the people that are here for Sentimiento Latino. Oh boy. We'll see, we'll see. And so far, we are still here in this series, and Smile being a little bit cheeky here, completely walling off in his main base, making it a little bit difficult to scout whether or not he goes for multiple Raxes. We can see that so far the opener is pretty standard, but our Protoss player is in the dark. He doesn't know. How's he gonna know? Meanwhile, we see a bit of an SCV scout confirming, oh my god, the double gate opening here from our Protoss player. Double gases as well. Just going to be as annoying as possible here at the natural base. And we'll see how this goes. Fun fact, loading into this game, Smile was anticipating some aggression and some cheese from his opponent, especially because he won the macro game in game 1. Game 2, we had a charge all in. What are we going to see in game 3 from our Protoss player? We are on Curious Minds, a pretty short rush distance map. One of the shortest. Oh my god. And Smile is preparing for the worst. I don't blame him. He goes for a bit of an NG block. There is still no natural base. We see a bunker being thrown down here on the high ground. He's playing very safe. And thankfully, he did open up with a Reaper. So with this Reaper, he'll be able to sneak into the main base and confirm what exactly is going on. Unfortunately for DTWB, he didn't block off that Reaper cliff. And with this, he will confirm, there is a Twilight Council. We have our gases. Natural has been delayed. It looks like he will not get confirmation that there is a natural. But now he can prepare. So far, this looks like a pretty standard opener. But I wouldn't be surprised if... Ooh, I was going to say if we see a Dark Shrine, but we see Robo instead. Oh. Are we going to see Charge again? We'll see, we'll see. As we already have a bunker here on the low ground as well. There we go. Blink is on the way. I don't know how I feel about delaying Blink for a faster Robo, but you know, it happens, it happens. And again, Smile just has to prepare for everything. Like, looking at his vision, he saw the Twilight Council. For all he knows, it is DTs, right? So I wouldn't be surprised if we end up seeing some detection, or at least we save a little bit of scans for that either. Instead, we could even be seeing a Raven opener. Oh, as the build is looking a little bit inefficient. Yeah, forced to land and just make the tech lab on the starport. He can't go for the switch. And I love this from DT. Like, he confirmed the defenses, by the way. He confirmed like the amount of bunkers being thrown down earlier. We even have an NG bay here to block things off completely. So instead we see a fast third base. Like, he's responding to the safetiness with greed. Good stuff. DT, he knows what's up. He knows how to play some StarCraft. And interesting, we're going from Blink straight into a Templar Archives. I have to imagine, based on what we've seen, DT just enjoys playing with Storm that little bit more. It feels like it's something that he's prioritized in every game, more so than Colossus, more so than Disruptors. So I guess it's kind of a stylistic thing for our Brazilian Protoss player. It isn't necessarily a bad thing, and I kind of like it in this position, because the downside of going for Storm is that before you have Storm, you're very vulnerable to pushes from the Terran player. But if the Terran player is playing safe and scared, well then you're gonna be fine. Like, you can get away with going straight into Storm. Speaking of, charges on the way, again, to go into charge for Archon. Stalkers are moving out across the map. We do have high ground vision, but we have a tank as well. We have a Raven to catch the observer, so there is no real way for DTWB to penetrate the defenses of Smile, and he doesn't really care to. Like, there's no way to reinforce his army. He doesn't have a Warp Prism. He doesn't have a Proxy Pylon. He's just containing his opponent and keeping Smile scared, which is exactly what's happening, which is what he's feeling right now. And again, Storm is now on the way. So I have to wonder how Smile is going to approach this. Oh, as we do see a blink into the main base, he forces a cancel of the third. Oh my god. Does end up losing a lot of Stalkers in the process, but honestly well worth it. I was gonna say that looking at how the game is panning out, I have to imagine that Smile is going to take things slow and steady, almost as if he's playing mech, slowly expanding and slowly maxing out, just like game 1, not necessarily pushing out until he's maxed. And DT is doing a great job at just abusing that, to be honest, like coming in with some Stalkers, you know, taking up as quickly as possible, getting a faster third base. Even this Raven Harass isn't honestly dealing that much damage. Some lost mining time, sure, but only 2 probe kills. What I will say is that it looks like DT is he's slipping up when it comes to probe production. We should be seeing 3 probes at a time. I wouldn't even be opposed to chrono boosted probes. Honestly, it's taking longer than it should have to saturate this third base. I would have thought that we would have been fully saturated by now, especially considering how fast the third was taken. So DT slipping up a little bit in the macro. Let's see how this will go as, oh, what of my shot will go off, take down that Stalker. What's important is that the entire army gets pulled away to deal with the one Widow Mine, and now we have a double drop slipping into the natural. This is where Smile's looking to deal that damage, and it's where he dealt the damage in game 1. Go for all these drops, go for the multi-prong. We have a Raven Harass here in the main base, and the pros are being pulled towards the natural, and the natural is exactly where the Marines are. The army is responding, but again, a little bit too late. 8 probes already going down. And sure, we have blink on our Stalkers, but we don't have that many Stalkers here, so the drop is kind of getting away. He goes into the main and gets even more probes. Oh my god. And it looks like he's going to be giving up this drop again with the amount of Stalkers here. The medevacs are going to be focused down. No, they escape into the dead space. 20 probes. What? This should not be happening. Again, DT was kind of distracted by the Widow Mine, sure, but he was completely pulled apart, and it wasn't even a committed drop either. I mean, sure, there were multiple facets, like there was the Raven Harass and stuff, and the Widow Mine, I guess, but Smile. I'm shocked, especially because he's still not done. By the way, can he get the Forge? There's no way. There's no way. +1 finishes, so he won't deny the upgrade, but he gets the Forge anyway. Crazy. How? Man with gun OP, he gets even more probes. Finally, he gets cleaned up. But after all is said and done, 28 probes go down, 6 Stalkers, and the Forge. But what, 2 drops of Marines? Mate, take that trade any day. We have a bit of a double scan. Again, DT, Smile confirms that there is Storm, so he still has to respect this. But mate, we already have Ghosts. Like, Enhanced Shockwaves is on the way as well. Like, he is ready for this. Look at the minefield as well. Here we go, EMP. Up, up, up. There we go, EMP does connect here with the Archons, with the High Templar. Oh, Storm still connect on the mineral line. 8 SCVs go down, but we still have plenty of bio here. And just like that, he just dives on top of the High Templar, gets the Immortal, almost gets the Archon as well. Archon barely survives, but every single high-tech unit just got reset here from DT. He needs more High Templar. He needs to morph them in ASAP. Without Storm, how is he going to hold the counterattack? To be fair, where is the counterattack? Smile, now is the time to go, puppy. Just pull the trigger. Let's go. He's going. He knows. I was worried because in the previous game it took him a long time to move out. Now, I hope he realizes, mate, I just killed some High Templar, I just killed some Immortals, like, just look at how beefy this army is. Forces a cancel on the 4th. DT did see earlier. At the same time, the Raven harass just doesn't stop. The Raven was never dealt with, it's still alive. Oh, but Smile doesn't pull the trigger. He goes in with a couple of scouting marines. He confirms that there is a disruptor, and the disruptor is scary, but there's only one. There's only a single robo producing. Now is the time. But Smile, he's a little bit more content just macroing up back at home. He is reinforcing his army with more ghosts, to be fair. Again, only one Storm, only one Colossus, only one Disruptor. The Nova goes off, decent connection on a lot of those Marauders, another decent connection as well, but that is all that DT had. And there we go, we see the stim on forward. Smile chases everything down. The Colossus fall, the Disruptors fall. What is there left? A single Archon and some Gateway units. And this just isn't going to be enough. And sure, we have an overcharge. Ooh, the Raven gets sniped. Not bad. The overcharge is actually coming into play. I thought the shield battery was going to get focused down. But even with all of this, like, there's just an overwhelming amount of fire. Oh, we have a disruptor. No. It gets focused down. The mana mule. Oh my god. GG gets called, and Smile takes the series 2-1. I'm shaking my head with the mule. Oh god. I'm shaking my head. But congratulations to Smile. He takes down his opponent 2-1. It was a hard fought battle. It was a rough TvP, but he made it through to the end. And now that he's done with the TvP, he has to get through the TvZ.